Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Conservative Corner. I'm Elliot Margolis, and I'm here with my guest today, Leslie Gould, who is the Executive Director of the Greater Beverly Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you, Elliot. Thank you so much, and it's an honor to be here.
Well, thank you. Let's first talk about what is a Chamber of Commerce.
Sure.
And then we'll talk about why you got involved.
Sure. So a Chamber of Commerce is a nonprofit, membership-based organization. It's all about business. So businesses join the chamber, and the chamber's job is to promote those businesses, offer events so that they can network, or events that promote what they do. We have government affairs, so we're advocates for businesses as well. Like if people need help with signage, or they're having trouble with the city, or they don't know where to go, et cetera, or they need help with business plans, et cetera, et cetera. So we're a resource for businesses in that way, but we're advocates for different kinds of business issues that really affect our business's bottom line. A Chamber of Commerce is a place for community, so that we are doing things within the community. Not just about the business community, but how do we connect the residential community with the business community and vice versa?
Okay, and how did you get involved in doing chamber work?
That's a great question. So I graduated Boston University in 1990. I got a job immediately at MHTV in Marblehead. It is the BevCam of Marblehead, if you will. And I worked there for 7 years as a reporter and an anchor and producer. And again, 7 years into it, I was starting to think, I probably want to move on now. I want to let me see if I can get to New England Cable News. Maybe I should go down to Providence or Manchester, New Hampshire, and expand my reporting career, when I got a phone call from the executive director of the Marblehead Chamber of Commerce saying, I'm leaving. And I said, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Sounds like a great news story. When can I come and see you? She's like, no, that's not why I'm calling. I'm calling because someone on my board recommended you for the position. And I was stunned. So I personally, even though I covered the chamber with some of their events in Marblehead, I really didn't know what a chamber did either. So I really found out on the fly, quite frankly, on the job. So 26 years later, here I am. But that's how it started. And I have to say, it was one of the best things that's ever happened to me, next to my children.
Well, I can tell you, as a past president of the Cape Ann Chamber of Commerce, the year that I was president was like the best year that I was ever in business. I just really enjoyed doing it because government affairs was really important back then. It still is today.
Yeah, especially in Cape Ann.
Yeah. We would fight for keeping the tax classification down as much as we could. And we've been very successful. Have you done that here in Beverly?
So not in Beverly, but I did in Lynn. So I was in Marblehead for 9 years. I was at the Lynn Chamber of Commerce, the Lynn Area Chamber of Commerce for 10 years. And then I came here to Beverly. I am originally from Swampscott, lived in Marblehead for a very long time, and then moved up to Gloucester. So I've got this North Shore thing going. But the tax classification was a huge issue in Lynn, and we went in front of City Council quite a bit, almost pretty much every year. You could count on us being there for sure. In Beverly, we have dealt with other issues, specifically recently the tipping issue, which was question 5, but we've also had representatives, my board president and my vice chair, who is also chair of our government affairs, go before the State House to speak against a rise in the minimum wage as it would pertain to businesses and how it would hurt their bottom line and what the cause and effect would be. So those are some small examples of what we've done, but for our business members, it was important to them.
Well, that's the whole thing. See, politicians in general don't understand all the consequences of their actions. And that's where I found the chamber to be very helpful, and the reason why so many businesses do belong to the chamber.
Yeah, we're really lucky. One of the things I absolutely love about Beverly are the people. Like, you'll hear me talk about that a lot. One of the things about a chamber that's important is it has this reputation of being this, quite frankly, stuffy old white men sort of, perception, and that's not the case at all. Chambers have changed a lot over the past 20 and 30 years, absolutely. And especially here in Beverly, what I really appreciate about the people is how friendly and welcoming they are. And I mean that sincerely because I talk about it a lot. As a matter of fact, our logo, which is like a half ship's wheel, the spokes of the wheel, if you will, are made to look like people because it's really about the people power. It's a whole volunteer organization. I am paid staff, and I have one part-timer, my communications and membership manager, Donna Musamichi, who's been in Beverly for like 40 years. She's awesome, and I love her. But, I mean, really, at the end of the day, the board of directors, all of our committees, everything we do is done by volunteer business members. So it's just incredible how creative and just really how supportive they are. And I think that reflects within the chamber and why our chamber is right now in a very solid, successful place. And chambers have, you know, over the years, they can go up, they can go down. I've seen it in Cape Ann, I've seen it in Lynn, you know, after 26 years, I've seen it all on the North Shore for sure. And I've had great relationships with most of the chamber directors because we're interacting quite often.
Right, and by the way, you have a good reputation with the chamber directors because I know a few of them myself.
Thank you.
But you're...
I love what I do, and I think I want people to know that, like, I love what I do, and I believe that business, just because it's a chamber of commerce, can be fun. What we do within the walls of the chamber, if you will, can be fun, exciting, engaging, interesting, you know, really thought-provoking. I've tried to, like this year especially, I've been saying I'm trying to bring a humanity to the chamber. We have a whole health and wellness series that we do with our health and wellness sector of industry in our chamber. And I mean, I'm just really trying to bring some humanity to an organization that often is seen as, again, very stoic and maybe stodgy, but it's not.
Yeah. Well, people don't necessarily understand, which is why I wanted to have you
thank
on.
you.
But, you know, it's like I've been involved in the Cape Ann Chamber of Commerce for 50 years, okay? And when you're a member of the chamber and when you're active in the chamber as a business, you make a lot of friends.
Yes.
And those are lifetime, I have lifetime friends from the people in the Cape Ann because of that. And that helps your business as well. Being a member of the chamber helps your business grow.
Absolutely. I always say people will do business if they know you and they like you, they will do business with you. And if they personally can't, they will refer someone that can. I believe that sincerely, and I've seen it over and over again. I myself, from the 3 chambers that I've worked for, I've created some incredible lifelong friendships, but I've seen marriages, I've seen wonderful business relationships created, I've seen lasting friendships, absolutely. You're working with these people in committee, you're meeting these people, you're getting to know them, and just naturally they form. You know, whether we're different than Rotary, but it's the same kind of camaraderie.
Yeah,
it is a family to some extent, especially, as I said, here in Beverly, because the people are just so awesome.
No, they are.
They really are.
And they
They're
are
very
on
different.
Cape Ann, I have to tell you. Just to give you a quick example, when you talk about the different organizations that come together, the different people that find, my wife passed away last year.
I'm sorry.
I'm a past president. There's like 8 of us past presidents who have lost a spouse. We now go out to dinner once a month. Just started that way. But we've been friends for a long time,
Right.
and it's a great group. Those different kind of splinter groups create the friendships.
It's really amazing.
And
It's so much more. If you want to be connected to the community, if you want to support your community, join the chamber.
Yeah.
If you want to network, I always also say join as many chambers as you want to do business in those communities, because it's low cost and you spread your net, and that's what you want. You know, and if you can't get to everything, because you can't get to everything, right? We'd be like this, right?
Yeah.
You send your employees to represent you or represent the business. There are lots of opportunities. So it's what I love about the chamber business is that it's ever changing. It's like a ball of energy, I call it. It's like a giant think tank, and you go with what's current in our world. You know, locally, statewide, federally, nationally, what's happening in our world, and how can we bring it back into the chamber and learn something from it, create an event from it. Like, I'm all about the ideas. And to me, that's the fun part. I feel like I'm producing live television from my back days. Like it really does. It feels like live TV every day. It's no day is exactly the same.
Well, I noticed that you have a program now, a gift certificate program.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we do.
I didn't know that's what that was, but and that's another example of businesses working together to help each other out.
So I will tell you the history of this gift certificate program. I got the idea from the Cape Ann Chamber, which probably started 30 or 35 years ago. They were doing this on Cape Ann. It's the exact same gift certificate program. Then I brought it to Marblehead, launched it in Marblehead, and I couldn't launch it in Lynn because it wasn't the right chamber. Very different kind of chamber, very different needs. And we were all political all day. But when we got to Beverly, now I've got something to work with. And shopping is a big thing. It's the one area that we just had a void in from the chamber point of view. So basically, I mean, I asked businesses to join, and you can buy our gift certificate. This is just an example in $10, $25, or $50. All the money stays local. This is all about shopping local. And every gift certificate comes in this really pretty package and with a list of our participating businesses. And I have 50 businesses on this list. And they're restaurants, health and wellness, beauty, retail. I mean, it's really solid. You know, massages, restaurants. It's all about the things that you'd want to shop, and a few service-oriented businesses. But this is a free program. We don't ask for money to be a part of it. We just want your commitment. And then you can redeem it at any of these stores. So it's awesome. It's the exact same program that Cape Ann has. And Cape Ann sells $40,000 a year, oh, by the way. Marblehead is up to selling $20,000 a year, and that's my goal for this. I want this to be successful because it's successful for our businesses. This is what keeps money in town instead of, you know, when you think about Amazon gift cards or Visa gift cards, think Greater Beverly gift certificates.
Well, this is what people don't understand, okay?
Right.
It drives me nuts when people go to Amazon, okay? I had my own business, and in Gloucester, I used to donate thousands of dollars to the Boy Scouts, to the Girl Scouts, to the different schools, to all the different organizations. If you go to Amazon and buy stuff, you're not buying from the local community. They may not have the money to do all the donating.
Well, that's the thing. And that's what people need to remember is that when you are supporting a local business, that's money that they could use for your churches, your temples, your schools, your other nonprofit organizations. We all have to support each other. That's how it works. That's how we keep the community vibrant. And I know that sounds very cliche, and it probably sounds like I was reading it somewhere, but that's really the truth. And we all know it. You know, if a business, if no one's going into a business and not supporting the business, then they're not going to be able to give money or gift certificates, and they probably get hit up many times a day. I'm sure you did too.
Oh, trust me.
I always heard that. People are getting hit up all the time for all kinds of different causes, right? But you can't give what you don't have.
Right.
So if you're supporting the local, then they'll be able to give. Now, I do feel, and I hope you feel the same way, that people in our nation are talking local, especially since COVID. We're all talking about local makers, shop local, what's made in America, what's made locally, what's made in Massachusetts. I do feel like there is a push to really, you know, some people are going to shop Amazon, you know, and that's okay. But don't forget, shop local too. You can balance it all out. There's plenty to go around. You know, these could be stocking stuffers. These could be Yankee swaps. This could be employee gifts. It could be for your babysitter, your coaches, your teachers, your paraprofessionals, anyone you want to thank. So you don't have to go to Amazon for that. This is the kind of thing you could go through for this.
And if you want to give somebody a gift certificate for a restaurant, do it local.
Yeah, exactly.
And do it this way, because the stronger you are as a chamber, the stronger the business community is. And it's those kinds of programs. Like I was a retailer, and we had a retail division of the chamber. And we worked every week on different programs to keep people in town.
Right, exactly.
And a lot of people don't realize what is available downtown.
Exactly. So the other things that we do at our chamber, which we're really proud of, we have a Power of Women series that we do. We do 4 big events a year. We have a big kickoff with a speaker, something that's empowering or educating, that's going to inspire people. We do a Trailblazers event. We have 4 very successful women who have had challenges and really but they got to the top. And again, empowering, inspirational. We do a stirred up networking that's like speed dating. That's super fun. And we're actually going to be working with the SCORE Women's Advisory Council this year, doing sort of a mini kind of breakout sessions with regard to individual challenges in businesses. So that's going to be, we're going to work on that. But these are some of the things that we're doing, again, to help women in business. And whether you're entering the workforce or in the workforce, whatever it is, we've got something for you. We have the Health and Wellness Series, as I mentioned. We did a Home and Garden show this past year here at Beverly High School. We did our Health and Wellness Series. We did a huge event on Alzheimer's at the Current recently. We had over 40 attendees. Most were from the community. It was a free event. We did a whole event at the Cabot for community conversations about mental health and addiction. We had over 100 people at the Cabot this past year. Very successful in the sense that people wanted to talk about this stuff. Chambers don't talk about this stuff, right? This is important stuff. This is the human part of it, right? We did a health and wellness expo, and we do small mini expos throughout the year at different places. So we're doing different things. We did a cash mob where we asked our members to meet us at, say, whether it's a restaurant or, say, Beverly Bootstrap's thrift store, spend an hour, spend $10, we'll call it cash mob, so that people just rush down and go spend money, and we'll give them a boost for the day. And then we take pictures and say, hey, we just cash mob this business. And so it's like different things like that. Like we have government affairs, as I mentioned. We do a lot of different things. We have, our physical business directory, which we hand out all over town, and it's on our website. We do a lot. We're always promoting our members. That's really our number one goal, and that's what they want.
Yeah, and having these different events and different speakers, it's quite educational for people.
Exactly.
I assume you have politicians on once in a while?
Yes, we do. We absolutely do. As a matter of fact, we usually have the mayor come in at least once a year. We work very closely with the planning department and the economic development department. They're talking about sidewalk ordinances or sign ordinances, anything that's happening, development. We've certainly tackled and discussed and took a position on the MBTA housing, income, affordable housing along MBTA communities. That was a big discussion at our chamber. So when we have debates, if there are races, whether it's mayoral or city council, et cetera, maybe a state rep race coming up, right? We'll have debates, and we don't take positions. We do this for the education for our business members, and all of our debates will be business focused because that's our constituency, right? So, these are all the different things that we do, and there's never a dull moment. I'm not kidding you. We do lunch and learns. We do monthly brewing business networkings that are totally free of charge. We get like 50 to 60 people to come. It's great.
Yeah.
It's very, very exciting for me to watch everybody. It's exciting for me to take these ideas that either committees or myself and Donna or whatever have thought of, and we put it into motion. And then we watch all of our members benefit from it. That is very satisfying. Most people go to a job and they're not satisfied. My job, my passion for this chamber and the chamber industry is it's very satisfying. I can say that. I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky.
You and I should talk about, privately about different programs that we do in the KPN Chamber because
Yes.
for retail, we were dynamite.
Yeah, you were. You definitely were. Absolutely. I know that I used to follow Mike Costello when he was at the Cape Ann Chamber. He and I were very close.
Yeah.
I really liked him. In fact, I asked him to come down and speak with Bill Piercy when he was the chamber director in Newburyport. Because I wanted our members in Marblehead to learn about what they were doing, and especially because Marblehead was always saying, why can't we be like Newburyport? Why can't we be like Salem? Why can't we be like this? So, they both came down and really spent an hour with us, and really, we presented a breakfast for them, and it was great. But I know that it's been a little more challenging for retail. I know other associations have popped up at Cape Ann, for their street festivals and this and that. But there's still a great energy in Gloucester for so much that happens. Gloucester's a whole other bird.
Yeah.
They've got between the whaling and the tourism and the beaches and it's just a totally different bird. Beverly, in my opinion, their biggest niche, other than shopping in the beautiful downtown, is the nightlife. We've got the Cabot, off Cabot, the Larkham, the Music Theater. These are economic drivers, absolutely. Now we just need a mini hotel.
Actually, I
More
gotta-
than the Cabot Lodge. And the Cabot Lodge is great, but it's only 10 rooms, so we need more than that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I have suggested to the mayor for the past 30 or 40 years, every mayor, that we should have a replica of the ship Hannah, and we should build it on Glover's Wharf. And then, because Beverly, the biggest secret in the world is Beverly is the birthplace of the American Navy.
Marblehead thinks differently, but yes.
But see, but that's
Yes.
that's where this goes, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Beverly,
There's an opportunity here.
The Hannah was launched from Beverly,
Right.
built in Marblehead.
Right, exactly.
So you build a replica of the ship Hannah, and you sail it from Beverly to where it was built in Marblehead,
You make a big thing about it.
and make a big thing
Yeah.
about it, and that's going to help tourism everywhere and bring more hotels to the area.
So here's another thought, right to your point, right? So we were recently just talking at Government Affairs absolutely about the harbor. There is some real opportunity on the harbor in Beverly. There's not enough tourism coming from I think there's not enough tourism coming from boaters from other places that could walk up the street or grab an Uber up the street and really explore Beverly. I mean, to have a thriving harbor is an economic driver.
Well, Beverly has a lot of history, okay? And I used to say definitely to Bill Scanlon, I'd say, Bill, Beverly is the place that you go from Salem to go to Gloucester.
Right.
But
We
you
don't
just
wanna
drive through
We
it.
don't want to pass through.
And there's a lot of history here, like the birthplace of the American Navy, and we need to take advantage of it. I've got somebody who can build the Hannah.
Yeah, I mean, and you should work with the Historical Society, which does such a great job. I mean, they do such a great job with walking tours and different things that they're doing. I mean, obviously they're trying to archive as much as they can, but there's no question, like we're celebrating 40 years this year, and I'm making sure that we continue to celebrate it throughout the year. I want our 40th logo to be out in front of everyone. I want people to know the Chamber's been here for a long time, and it's going to continue to be here.
Yeah. Well, these are things that help business.
Yes.
And if the Chamber doesn't help business, who's going to?
I think that's your point, right? Perfect point. If the Chamber wasn't here, everybody would be in their own little silo.
Yeah.
Nobody would be working together necessarily. What happens too, and I've seen this over many years, just in different chambers or different places, associations come together, but if you don't have a paid staff person, they get all like, let's raise the pitchforks and let's do this and let's do that. And sometimes they get stuff done, but a lot of times what happens, because they're all working their own business and they're all volunteer, it peters out after 6 months, a year, 2 years, et cetera, because to have that paid staff person means you have that dedicated employee making what you want happen.
Right.
I mean, I answer to the board. I've got ideas and I can drive the bus, but I really love the idea of people throwing the ideas out on the table and let's all make it happen together. It's much more fun.
Yeah.
But no, a paid staff is really important.
It's critical because somebody's got to get the work done.
Right. I always say a part-time chamber is a part-time chamber. A part-time chamber is exactly what you get. You pay for what you get.
Right.
Some chambers can only be part-time because our budgets are tight. Our budgets are small. I don't have a pension. I don't work for the city. I think that's really important for people to understand that a lot of people think the chamber is a city department, and we are not. We are an independent business organization. We are our own nonprofit. And speaking of that, another thing that we introduced this past year, which really was very successful, was a nonprofit roundtable. So I had Rich Weissman, who is an MBTA professor over at Endicott, teach 4 different seminars throughout the year about board development, fundraising, strategic planning, et cetera. And that was very valuable to our nonprofit members. And we have over 30 of them.
Yeah.
We really do, so.
The nonprofits are very important.
Very important. They're doing
very important.
They're doing God's work. They're educators. They're medical professionals. They're helping kids. I mean, you name it. If they're feeding people, housing people.
Well,
right?
It's amazing the different areas that the chamber does.
It can be
And
anything you want it to be.
people don't realize how important the chamber is.
Exactly. I always say, Elliot, the chamber can be anything you want it to be. You just have to tell me what you want it to be.
Yeah.
It can stretch and bend and roll any way you want it to. I mean, the chamber that I started with back in 2018 here, when I came here, is definitely not the same chamber. The chamber I started in Lynn in 2007 was not the chamber I left, in 2018.
Well, the director has a major impact in what the chamber does. And you've had that impact here in Beverly, that's
Thank
for
you.
sure.
I hope so. Thank you.
Mike Costello was phenomenal in Gloucester.
It really was.
Then we had a couple of people that were
Well, it's hard
not
because
as good, but it's hard.
it's
He
hard
was a
because
tough
he was there
act
for
to
30
follow.
years. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
there for 30 years.
He was a tough
But
act
Ken
to
Reel
follow.
rocks my
But
world.
we have
I
a good
absolutely
group
love
now.
him, and I love Steve. Steve Buckley, actually, who's there now, is his kids are friends with my kids. So
Oh, is that right?
that's a very nice. It's a very nice relationship to have because we
Yeah.
can talk about profession and personal, and it's kind
Well,
of nice.
they've got a big staff in Gloucester.
Yes, they do.
But you got to remember, Gloucester is Gloucester,
Yes.
Rockport, Essex, Manchester, and Ipswich.
Right. Exactly.
But we've been active for a long time. Beverly has not. But you're bringing it back, and that's what
Thank you.
I'm thankful for because
thank you.
I want to see Beverly prosper. And I have a tendency to do a lot of my shopping in Gloucester because I know so many people.
Right.
But I still shop a lot in Beverly.
Sure.
I don't do Amazon. I would rather have my money go to the local community. It brings employment.
Right, exactly. Of
You know?
course. It's all about jobs, 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 jobs. I mean, and when I was in Lynn and we did a strategic plan, probably halfway through my tenure there, and we just all came out of it going, it's all about jobs, 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 jobs. So
Yep.
if we're supporting initiatives that create jobs, then that's what we need to do for sure. If anyone ever wanted to get in touch with us or check us out, we're on greaterbeverlychamber.com. My email is lgould, like Leslie, lgould@greaterbeverlychamber.com. Always happy to talk to people. I hope that we're extremely accessible to people. That's really important to me. I try to get back to people on time when they call me, but there's a lot of information about what our chamber does for the community, our history in the community, and who the players are.
Yeah.
All these people are your friends. All the people on my board, they're your friends, your neighbors, your constituents. They're people who are donating to your charities. These are, it's like Cheers.
And the key
Everybody
thing
knows
to
your name.
remember is these are the people that keep the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Little League, and all these. These are the people that keep it going.
Exactly.
And that's very important. So, Leslie, thank you. We're out of time.
Thank you.
But this was great. I appreciate you being here. And if you don't get Leslie's email, you can always email me. But both emails will be on the screen at the end of the program. So thank you for watching.